Welcome to the Scientific Investor channel. Today again we'll look at our favorite cryptocurrencies. We'll analyze the charts in different time frames, then we'll look at the recent news updates and why the price actually crashed. There are a lot of positive news, say this is for XRP, and still the price went a lot down. So the same actually happened with Bitcoin. It's coming up with a lot of good news, but at the same time the market is not actually reflecting those good news. Instead, the market is actually crashing. So as we can see, that good news for everything like Ether, Bitcoin, XRP, but still the market is crashing. So we will actually discuss through all these news and updates, trying to connect those with the chart. Yep, the fundamentals and technicals are both factors which should be taken into consideration while you are trading, because these can actually affect almost all of your trades. These are the key factors, right? So as we look into the crypto market, we can see that last 24 hours it's almost very bad. It's worst. Say Bitcoin went around -6%, XRP -3%, Ether -8%, so everything in negative territory. Now, okay, let's look at the news. Say this one is actually showcasing that BINANCE Shanghai office is closed down. So last time when we saw the price was increasing, there was kind of a good news related to at least for those in crypto community. Say there was a trade war and the Chinese had some sanctions on them. They have capital control, so they need something like Bitcoin to move their value, right? So they used or pumped the price of Bitcoin. Thus the price actually went up high. Now Binance actually went into China, opened an office there, and right now they are actually cracking down. The government is actually cracking down on the crypto exchanges, crypto businesses. We talked about this previously in one of our videos, in which we showed the news that Chinese government and the regulatory authorities are concentrating on crypto businesses, trying to shrink them down. So this can be a reason, or this can have an impact in the price. So I personally believe that this may be one of the reasons why the price went down, because when we have news like this, the problem is retail investors take this more seriously than it should be taken. Now this is for XRP saying that 10 billion wiped from XRP market cap since June. So just considering say June, July, August, September and October, now we actually wiped out $10 billion. Now this one is showing that the XRP prices dips below 0.25 and can be managed there. Ripple investors to will the internet of value into existence. Now when we talk about Ripple and the internet of value, we actually talk a lot in favor of the currency, because we are, as a XRP community member, I'm a strong supporter of the digital asset. But at this moment I'll say, the technicals are not looking that high for the price action, and the fundamentals are stronger than ever. We can say that day by day the fundamental is actually getting stronger and stronger. The next news is Ripple employee thinks it's impossible for XRP to reach $100 in 2020. Now for me that's a positive news. He's stating that it won't be able to reach $100 per XRP in 2020. Rather, 2020 is so near, right? If we look at it, it's just a couple of months ahead. So he's not actually stating that it is not possible for XRP to reach that price. Instead, they are actually stating that it won't be possible to reach that price until 2020. So if you are a long-term player, if you're waiting say until 2023, 2025, then still there is a possibility that it can reach that high. Now there is another article which is actually trying to predict, as you can see, the Bitcoin, XRP price. So I'll just jump into the main area. Say this one is actually showing that the XRP token is expected to reach $20 by the end of 2019. Now, this is not my opinion, but anything can happen within the crypto. But from next analysis point of view, you can see that the shares that it can reach around $1.2 by the end of year. Until 2023 it can reach around $4.5 US. So that's also, not that low value considering where we are, because currently say we are below 0.25, and even if the price is reaching 4.52, that's a huge rise considering the traditional market. But when we are looking to the crypto market, that's not a huge rise, right? But what shown here is a huge rise. It can happen at any time, right? We don't know when it will come, but we are all eagerly waiting for that bull run. Now, this one is actually a good news. The Mercury FX states that international payments are being conducted or executed in markets which were inaccessible for them previously. So while they're using technology like Ripple, they are able to do this. Like the fintechs like Ripple are enabling financial institutions to go into the market which were previously inaccessible. Now their market is actually widening and they're growing as a company. So automatically the competitors for them will actually come in, right? They don't want to see another company growing so fast with the help of another company. Why can't they use the help of Ripple and do the same? They'll actually think in that manner. Like, this is my personal opinion. Now, and that's common sense too, right? So next one is RippleNet Home launched a new product for seamless interaction. You see, this is a positive news, because when we look at financial institutions who are working with Ripple, the unannounced clients, those with that NDA, non-disclosure agreements, now they are getting more and more options to work within the RippleNet. They're getting more and more updates. While looking at this, I'll say there are I'm not like offending any other cryptocurrency investors, but there are cryptocurrencies which don't have that much updates, say 6 months, 1 year or so. Whereas you can see for Ripple, the company, they're working a lot in the network. So XRP is actually getting a lot of updates. That's actually positive news for the community as well. Now this is showing the crash of the price from say 0.5. We reached around 0.5 and we were crashing ever since. Now the price reached below 0.25. So they're actually showing the 1 hour chart and showcasing this one for XRP BTC, showing that the price actually went till there. It made a double top there, then it came back. Now the wicks are being formed, and we'll analyze the chart at the end and see what's currently going on. Say 4 hour chart, 1 hour chart for XRP USD, XRP BTC, and then we'll go to BTC, Ether, and other cryptocurrencies as well. Now the Santander executive mentions Ripple in that the bank focused on innovation. Santander has been a partner of Ripple from years, right? They are coming up with more innovative stands for their customers. So their customers are happy. Say they came up with OnePay, which runs on Ripple, and they're enabling their customers to conduct these transactions from their mobile, sitting at their home, the comfort zone. So that's not like the current situation. Other banks, say the banks, you need to go into the bank, do that, or use their online service, but you have to pay humongous fees, conversion cost, take all those volatility in fiat currencies and all. Now this one, again, what to expect after this price point. So when the price actually dips something like this, you can see the price then bounce a bit back. Then there is a chance that the price may revisit that area or retest that area or even lower. So we'll actually look at the charts and try to understand what's happening. Now this one is related to Ether. It's showing that Ether block rewards cut down by 1,000 as block time increases. Now when something happens in the network, like last time, consider the block rewards in 2007 were close to 20,000 and dropped once more to 14,000 earlier in 2019. The 8th block rewards cut down is usually connected to major upgrades in the Ethereum network by right now. There were no upgrades that could have affected the production of new coins. So what we can see here is, compared to this, say here what's happening is that 1,000 coins lesser than just a week ago, and major drop compared to the situation 3 years ago when the average coin number produced per day reached 30,000. If you want to read the article in full, I'll actually link that in the description. So now this one is related to BTC. Grayscale is showcasing that in their Q3 report, it's impressive growth, and the institutional interest in crypto assets are increasing. And like the fundamentals, as we talked about XRP, day by day everyone is getting confident about this new asset class. They are pumping a bit. Now this is a guy like Goldbug, we can call him like that, because he is mostly supporting gold. And yeah, we are not opposing gold, but what we are stating is these can actually coexist. And I'll say in next 50 or 100 years, the majority will be using digital asset instead of gold. Maybe the gold will be used as ornaments, say in countries like India, Pakistan and all, or the government will use that as a store of value. Now these kind of guys actually resurface when the price actually drop a bit, because they want to showcase that you see, I told that before the price is gonna crash coming down. But what he stated that was it's gonna go to zero or below that, right? What was a billionaire, I think the name was Dan Pena, in one of his videos he was stating that you heard it here, you have to understand Bitcoin is going to 000. And I was like, oh come on. After the price crashed from 20,000, it bounced back from 3,000. It didn't go down, right? So there is someone or a lot of people who's holding below that price, and they're accumulating when the price is going down. So that's actually positive news. You have to think what something is going on in there, right? There are a lot of guys working in that. There is a lot of projects. Say if you take Bitcoin, there's a lot of improvements. Say Bitcoin is accepted here. The Bitcoin ATMs are coming up. Now it's surpassing 6,000, right? So that's not actually a small thing. Now, this development might allow the IRS to succeed in mitigating the use of cryptocurrency for large-scale federal tax non-compliance. Experts suggest, however, Bitcoin ATMs remain a low transaction size business which is already regulated enough to detect high-scale fraud. So there are regulations in place. Say you are going into an ATM, taking out cash from, say, a debit card which is connected to some of your exchange. Now they are regulated, right? So I personally believe you don't need more regulations, whereas you just need much more clarity for existing regulations. Now this one is showing that Bitcoin given you something and it took that back. It went up, now it's coming down. Because this point where I actually remember one of a quote, I'll quote the channel Crypto Revolution, in which Chris actually states that in this market you don't lose your profit, other people take your profit. So if you're a long-term investor, okay, I don't want to offend you, but if you are a trader, short-term investor, when you have profit, do take a bit of that, because otherwise someone else will take that and you will lose that, right? Say at first it was yours, then someone else took it from you. What's the benefit in that? Now this one shows that Bitcoin adoption could rise as volatility improves. Yeah, the price is going down. That means the volatility of the asset is actually increasing. Means if you were to look at the volume of Bitcoin, you can see that it is kind of exceeding the market cap of other cryptocurrencies, right? So the volume is getting high. Yeah, I accept that. Previously, when the price was around 14,000, it was much higher. But this is not that lower comparing to the asset class. The adoption is increasing. So anyway, we'll actually look at the chart. So this is XRP on a weekly, and as I stated in one of my previous videos, that XRP was actually having a spring here, then it went up high, and it's kind of retesting there. But now I have to correct myself, it actually came back within that trading area. Now this trading area was acting as a support resistance zone from a long time, right? If we look back, we can see that from mid 2017, this area is actually affecting as a strong support resistance area. Now the price is within that. So at the same time, what we can see is the 20-day moving average is actually crossing the 200-day moving average. That's a bad sign, and it's in weekly, so that's a really bad sign. Now if we look at a daily chart, we can see another cross. That's say the 100-day moving average is actually crossing the 50-day moving average, and the 20-day is crossing 50 and going to cross the 100. So that's again a bad news. But what we want to look at is when similar situation happened previously, what or how the price reacted to that. So if we look at that, say put the chart in a log scale and zoom a bit in and look at similar situation which happened previously, it can be in 2014-15. I'll say the time duration, say this was around 2017 and the price showed something like this, right? It was coming down, the 20-day moving average went below 50, 100, 200, then eventually the 50 came below the 100, 200, and everything was negative. The moving averages were moving down, and the price was below the moving average. So once the price bounced within the range of the moving average and it got a bit of support, it was then the price got a bit traction towards the upside. Whereas now what we can see is the price actually went below the moving average. It traded below the moving average. Now it went into the moving average. Now it's again coming back below the moving average. So just comparing the same areas we talked about previously, we can see that the price actually dipped below here. Then it went a bit up into the trading range, and again it went back below the trading range, making a new low compared to this area or the previous area. So in that area, for me, I'll say to my viewers that you should be cautious. There can be a drop. Recently we reached around 0.21, so there can be a drop, say 0.2, 0.21. It's still possible looking at this pattern, because before it came back into the trading range, it actually made a double bottom in newer price range, say newer lower low there. So in that aspect, what we can see here is it's the similar thing happening here, but just the difference is here we made a new low here, whereas in this particular range we didn't do that. See, this was not that much low compared to this area, whereas this was, right? This actually broke all these. Like if you draw a line like this, say this was acting as a support for a long term, but the price breached that area. So if we see that, we can see the same here. The price was being supported in this area for a long time. That was a breach in that area. Now again we are coming back into that level. So like the history is not actually repeating itself, but as the experience guy states, it may rhyme itself. Now we'll actually look at XRP to BTC chart. Try to understand what is actually happening in there. In there, what we can see is the price actually came below the moving average. It tried to get into the range, then again it failed, it came back down. Now it went into the moving averages, and the price is actually showing a bit positive momentum. Like here we saw that the 20-day moving average crossed the 50 to the upside, 100 to the upside. That's a positive news. Now it came back a bit below the 50-day moving average, but at the same time we saw that the 50-day moving average crossed 100-day to the upside, and it's still above there. And looking at this, what we can see is the Bitcoin crashed, say around 7 to 8% yesterday, but XRP didn't do that much. And at the same time, if we are looking at the MACD, what we can see is the price of MACD is crossing in daily. Now the volume is coming up above, it's showing in positive, and the MACD is crossing. So that's actually positive news for those who are trading XRP to BTC. And usually when Bitcoin is actually giving up its market cap, slowly the altcoin starts to run. So there is a chance that a small altcoin season, a small alt season, a rally in the altcoins can actually happen. So when we look, say, Ether to USD, to understand the situation, say we can say the same thing. To the USD, it's making a new bottom for showing you a triple bottom. Right, the price actually reached around the same area, but comparing to other coins, I'll say this is much more valid trend line, right? It's been resisted in these areas previously, and now it's getting a lot of support in that area. So the price can actually bounce back up for Ether. As we know, most of the big cap altcoins moves together. Sometime with Bitcoin, sometime the Bitcoin moves a bit, but these coins run really fast. They rise in price rapidly, so that can happen at any moment. just the price will have to bounce back up high. So when the volume next time comes up, that may be a good news, because as we can see that in weekly, Ether is just getting a upside cross. And last time when that happened, you have to look at the MACD and see the last time that was happening, the price actually bounced from 82 to 161. So that's around 100% rise, say precisely 94.64% rise. So if we get something like that, that will be much better. So now we actually discussed through charts of Bitcoin, Ether, XRP, then some of their news, why may be the price going down. Reason why the price going down, in my opinion, this can be one of the reasons. Now I'll actually come up with a new video tomorrow morning, and I hope to see you guys back. If you have any suggestions, comments, do comment in the comment section below. If you guys like the content I'm providing on a daily basis, do support the channel by giving it a subscription, and do like the content. See you guys tomorrow.